Young man, the biggest enemy or the biggest enemies in your life right now and how you could go about defeating them, right? That's what we're going to talk about today on the channel. Young man, the biggest enemies of your life right now is distraction and fear. Now, how do I know that? I know that because, that was the biggest distraction in my life when I was in my 20s. Being distracted by, women and sex and relationships, being fearful to, step out and, do different things for fear of other people's opinions and that type of thing, other people's ridicule. That was the stuff, young man, that kept me stuck. Like when I look back over all of the opportunities that I had, all of the things that I could have really been great at, the only thing that stopped me was the distraction. It was a distraction. It wasn't that I didn't know the information. Like, you guys have it so good now in the sense of like information is at your fingertips and you can find out how to do anything. I was that dude back in my 20s that I wasn't afraid to figure it out. Like, I pride myself. If there's one thing that I did right in my life, young man, I had the mindset and I had the mindset to realize that I can learn anything. I've never been afraid to try stuff because there is a book, there is somebody that knows how to do this thing and they can show me. So I've never been afraid. And that's the thing for you guys right now. You have all of the information, right? And it's easily obtainable. Back in my day, you had to go and get books and live at a library, or live at a bookstore. And right now, you guys have all of the information in the world. So it wasn't the information that was the issue, or even the lack of. Men, it was the distraction. It was distraction and the fear that, it's normal. It's absolutely normal, man, when you're 20 to want to, chase the women, chase the pussy and all of that stuff. I get that. But for me, man, and this is what I would tell you guys, you can do that, but, if you do too much of anything, right? Too much of anything will ultimately just become a distraction. And what chasing after the women and all of that stuff, what that did, man, is that stopped me from planning out the rest of my life. That stopped me from like really trying to figure out, what the fuck do I want to do with the rest of my life? I couldn't see past, getting off work, cleaning up, hitting the gym and chasing after her. And then, we got into I got into relationships and, it just occupied so much of my bandwidth. It occupied so much of my time. It kept me, men, from figuring out a lot of the stuff that I've been talking to you about up until this point, finding my purpose and really throwing time and effort into that. See, a lot of people would tell you about finding, the purpose in life, and that's very important. That is extremely important as soon as you can to find out what it is that you really want to do in your life. And, the distraction kept me from doing that. But you know what else it kept me from doing, man? It kept me from putting the time into, because it's okay to find a purpose, but then finding a purpose is not enough. You got to put time and effort into learning that thing, growing in that thing, mastering that thing before you can become good at it. It's just not finding your purpose. That's great, but you got to do something after you find the purpose. You got to learn and you have to master that thing. And the time that I could have spent doing that, I was just distracted with the women in that. And I understand that, it may not be women for many of you. That's what I can identify with because that's what I was distracted by. But the video games, scrolling on social media, porn, smoking weed, whatever, the thing that you're doing that is ultimately keeping you from locking in and trying to figure out what it is that you want to do besides get up and go to work, come home, play the game, wash, rinse, and repeat. And that's an enemy. That is an enemy of yours right now because it's robbing you of your most precious resource, and that's time. That's time. Like, I can see it as clear as day now at almost 60 years old. And that's okay, I guess, but like, I'm against time now, right? So I want to tell you guys this so you understand, like, to be able to lock in and really focus on that thing that you really want to do now in your 20s. So that when you get to like 40, 50, or, when you get older, now you're just not, the light bulb hasn't just went off and you're trying to figure this thing out. No, you figured it out 10, 15 years ago. And all of that time has just been working the plan. You will never get to that, man, chasing pussy. You will never get to that drowning yourself in just unnecessary shit. You have to figure out what it is that you want to do. You have to figure out what it is that you want to do. And the best way to go about doing that, man, is you got to clear the distractions. You got to clear the things that are keeping you from doing that. The things, the unnecessary shit that ain't giving you no money, ain't putting you ahead in any type of way. It's just wasting time. It's just wasting time. And that's what chasing women in that did for me. When I look back on it, it was fun at the time. I ain't gonna front. It was fun as fuck, but man, it just ate so much time where I could have been, honed in and locked in on so many other things that would have profited me so much better now. The reality of it is, young man, you will not be 20 forever. That was my father's favorite saying. You are not going to be young forever. And what he was trying to tell me that I ignored, that I'm trying to impress upon you now, is that, youth is going to end. And if you don't plan for something beyond that, you're going to be fucked out here. You're going to be fucked bad, right? Because the clock doesn't stop ticking. Distraction, young man. That's an enemy of yours right now. And and you have to fight with everything you have to keep from allowing that to bring you down. I'm going to tell you how to do that here shortly. Fear. Fear is another enemy that I know you guys have because I had it. I was so consumed, man, over, and a lot of that has to do with some personal issues of mine, self-esteem, childhood, approval, validation, that type of shit. But the reality of it is, man, I allowed the fear of what other people would think, the fear of, and I can't even say it was a fear of failure. I can't even lie and say that. For me, and that may be the thing for you, but for me, I can't even front. It was what they gonna think. They gonna laugh. They gonna think I'm this. They gonna think I'm that. And I don't have that fear now, young man, obviously, because I'm in front of a camera talking to you guys. And if I would have had this level of boldness, and it's not even a level of boldness, it really is, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you think, right? Back then, I care so much about these people, and what I know now that I didn't know then is that them people ain't fucking thinking about me. They ain't thinking about me. Either they're doing the shit that I'm suggesting to you now, or they's off in their own world wasting time and doing it. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck, and that's what I know now. And even if they did, if these people ain't putting money in your pocket, if these people ain't your family, people that have invested in you and care about you, fuck them. Fuck them. That's what I know now. But I didn't know that back then. And rather than to go out here and try stuff and do things that could have bettered myself, do things that could have furthered myself, no, what they gonna think? What they gonna think? It's an enemy. Absolute enemy. Real quick before I wrap this up, how do you address both of these issues right now? If it's distraction, young men, you have to find something to do. You got to find something that you like, something that you enjoy, something that you're interested in, something that you can devote time and energy to, and then you stay focused on that. I'm not telling you to never talk to women again or never have fun. I'm telling you that you have to have a bigger focus, and that focus should be your purpose, and everything else takes backseat to that. That's how you remove the distraction. At this point now, everything is in the forefront of what it is that you really want to do, because you don't even know what the fuck you want to do because you're so distracted. You got to turn that thing around. And how you turn it around, man, is simply figuring out what it is that you want to do, and then now focusing on, and the focus on this is the number one priority in your life. Number one priority. Chicks take a back seat to it. Kicking it with the boys. Anything takes a back seat to this. And that is, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I want to become good at. This is what I have to learn. This is what I have to master, right? That's how you get over distraction. I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was too busy chasing pussy. So I had no idea about what I want to do. I'll give you guys an example. I know now that I want to be a good content creator. I love talking to you guys. I love trying to give you game. It's the only thing that I really have of value to give you, and I love that, and that's my focus now. So now everything takes a back seat to that, right? I ain't gonna front. I'm trying to make some money at this too. So everything now, right? I'm at work right now. I got to leave out in about another 10 minutes, but I got to get this video in because I'm not distracted by anything else. Right? When I get off work, when I get up in the morning, I ain't distracted, but I got to do this and I got to get these videos in. I got to edit. When you have a purpose, young men, and you know where you're going, everybody can't pull you away from that. But when you ain't got that purpose, shit, the wind blow the wrong way and you gone, right? The way you combat that fear, young man, you got to get you something to do. You got to find your purpose. Not only find your purpose, but you got to work your purpose. That was the thing for the longest time. Find your purpose, find your purpose. That's great, but you can find your purpose all you want, but if you don't do shit with it, you just got an idea, right? So that's the way you combat the distraction part. Fear. You got to stop giving a fuck about what people think. It is really as simple as that. You have to care more about what you think about you than what everybody else thinks about you. See, what I know and what I think about myself now is that, before I leave this world, I really want to be successful at something. I've been great my entire life at what everybody else does, but I want to be successful at something that I want to do before I leave. So I care more about that, man, than I could ever care about this goddamn sun. I care more about that. I care more about that, man, than I care about what any of y'all think. You can laugh at me. You can put bullshit in the comments. I don't give a fuck. I am showing up tomorrow and I'm doing this same shit until I get good at it. And I'm doing it because I know that it is helping somebody. So that overcomes my fear. What overcomes my fear is I don't give a shit about what people think about what I'm doing. I need to do this for me. I care about the people who invested in me and who I know loves me, my chick, my parents, my sisters, everybody that is in my corner going, yeah, this is good for you. Do that. That's what I care about. But I don't know you from a fucking can of paint and I give a fuck about what you think. I don't. And because I don't care about that, I can press play on this without an issue. I'm not held up from doing what I need to do because what they gonna think about, or they gonna laugh and I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So young man, like I said, two biggest enemies in your youth is distraction and fear of what people think. You can easily get over those now and create the type of life that you really want for yourself simply by finding your passion and working at it and, not allowing what other people think to outweigh what you think of yourself. All right. So listen, I got to hit the road, man. That is all I have for now. Listen, got some awesome resources in the video description below. So take a look at those. I am the Over 50 Guy / the Online Dad. We'll be back with another one soon.